Coming up soon, what Americans need to know about health insurance when you're traveling internationally, and there's some new resorts on the market coming to you from Sandals. Stay tuned for the gold standard. I'm Arthur Wright. I'm your travel consultancy coming to you live from the Gold Standard Medallion Travels here. And we just want to welcome you to another segment of the Gold Standard. But don't forget to hit that subscribe button so we can help you stay on top of all the great things happening in the travel industry, as well as any great benefits that are going to be coming out. One of the things a lot of people always ask me about as we're going through this post-COVID time frame is travel insurance. What do I need to know about health insurance when I am traveling internationally? Well, first off, you got to consider the importance of adding any medical coverage to your travel insurance. You know, when you're doing half of the people that I dealt with when we're traveling, whether it was their domestic health insurance plans, they came to understand that they didn't know whether or not their Blue Cross, their Blue Shield, their Aetna, or whatever would cover any emergency doctor or hospital visits while they were traveling abroad. According to one of the surveys that I ran across conducted by Insure My Trip, one of the leading travel insurance comparison sites, it says travelers should know about any limitations of their domestic health insurance policies while they're out of the country. Why is this important? This is important because there are gaps in your coverage, and some of these gaps can be very, very significant. Why do we recommend travel insurance? It's because it can act as like kind of that supplemental or that primary coverage, you know, that travel insurance. And a lot of travel advisors that I talk to, they couldn't agree more about the things that we should really be doing in travel insurance, about how all of those policies and how all of those non-expected emergencies can really come to you. One of the things I always recommend for all of my clients, especially when they're traveling internationally, is to have travel insurance. Because one of the things I let them know is most private insurance companies, they don't cover you while you're traveling abroad. Sometimes some of those minor medical issues while you're traveling, they can turn into a major catastrophe if you're traveling without the proper insurance. Why? Because travel insurance gives you that added layer of protection while you're traveling. It's also noted that it's important for your clients to have a policy that covers both cancellation for covered medical reasons as well as medical coverage for those emergency services. Personally, I never travel without it. If my clients seem hesitant, one of the things I tell them is real stories of things that I've had happen to my clients that have booked with me that decided not to take the travel insurance. I had one client that booked with me and the airline lost their luggage. They were going to the Virgin Islands. The airline lost their luggage. They were in the Virgin Islands for 4.5 days with no luggage and only what was in their carry-on bag and what they could buy. The problem with that is they were not going to be reimbursed by the airline for the airline losing their luggage because the airline actually got them to it, which means all the money they had to spend out of pocket to get all of those things that they were going to need while they were on their trip, they had to pay for those things out of their pocket and there was no reimbursement for it. So think about it. Now when you add COVID into the mix, and the COVID testing requirement on the return to the U.S., travel insurance is pretty much a must. Why? Because one of the things that can happen is if you pop positive while you're trying to get back into the U.S., you could be stuck in a country for a period of 10 days or more, depending on how long it takes you now to get that negative COVID test. And so a lot of our clients, they're solely interested in the medical coverage while they're traveling abroad, and the quarantine allowance in the destination. And what we do is we highlight all of that stuff through Travel Insured. Now, the great thing about this is they can purchase a policy that provides for both of these items, okay, without purchasing a full policy that proper covers like pre-travel cancellation. So you can actually get just a medical coverage policy, or you can get a policy that covers everything for you while you're there. But one of the things we do is when we send our clients their documents, they've noted that when they decline purchasing the insurance from the onset, we gently suggested adding that medical or that quarantine insurance, and more often than not, it's usually purchased by them before. Why? Because even if you don't want the other travel insurance, we highly suggest you get that medical insurance, because I've had clients that were traveling and they were swimming and they got stung by a jellyfish. Well, guess what? Now you got to go to medical to get that taken care of. Well, if you don't have the right insurance, that could cost you a lot of money. You know, I've had clients that had allergies and they've gotten stung by insects and had allergic reactions to all of those things. All of those things cost money when they're out there doing those types of things. So it's really imperative that as a client that you have those types of insurance while you're particularly out there. Now, another excellent reason is that why our older travelers in particular should opt for the travel insurance is sometimes my clientele tends to be a little bit older. So one of the first things that I let them know is that if they have Medicare, they will not have medical coverage outside of the U.S. Okay, that's just something. That's something that, you know, a lot of them just hadn't thought about. They figure, I got my Medicare, I'm covered. Well, no, Medicare does not cover you outside of the U.S. Okay, and so one of the things that I offer was part of one of my points when I'm always talking to my clients about travel insurance is I always offer them a travel policy, okay, with at least a $200 per day per person coverage in the event you get quarantined, you test positive, or something happens. Now, the per diem benefit, okay, in effect for 10 days, which just provides travelers with a pretty good benefit for hotel, meals, transportation, you know, that's about $2,000 per covered passenger as part of that particular policy. So given COVID times, okay, and the lack of certainty regarding airline schedules, as you notice, there's been a lot of airlines that have been canceling lately, okay, and the U.S. government, they're still insisting on that 10-day waiting period before those who test positive, you can return back to the States. So a lot of people traveling us got to carry that travel insurance, okay, and so it's one of those new realities that's to be insured or not to be insured, really not the question anymore. The only question is whether or not the guests should supplement their travel insurance with emergency medical evacuation coverage. A lot of that offered by companies like MedJet, okay? So take my advice on this, okay? Look at the medical evaluation line in a lot of our insurance policies, okay? If it's less than $500,000, you need to move on to the next policy. Why? Because these days, okay, a lot of people, when they're going traveling and they're getting stuck in these countries for medical insurance, they get back and they get these enormous bills, okay, for things that they didn't think about was going to happen while they were on vacation. And so one of the things I always insist for all of my customers when they're traveling with me, if you're traveling with me and you're leaving the country, unless you can show me you have your own travel insurance, I'm going to insist that you get a travel insurance policy to cover you in case anything happens. Your trip gets canceled, you got to come home early, you got to do any of those things. I'm going to ensure that you get a policy. And if you don't, one of the things I always have them do is sign a waiver. So if you're going to turn down insurance, I'm going to have you sign a waiver, okay? So one of the things, I don't really care about the legal ramifications. What I do care about is my guest welfare. When COVID first hit, I had a lot of clients that were stuck out there, that were trying to get flights, and as you know, we weren't letting a lot of people back in. But the one thing that saved the majority of them is they had travel insurance, okay? Even though they didn't have the COVID policy at that time, they did have the travel insurance, which covered them on a lot of the things that they needed to take care of because they were now delayed getting back into the country. So always understand this. No one plans, okay? Nobody plans to get sick. Nobody plans to get hurt while you're on travel, okay? But what you want to be is you want to be protected should those kind of things happen to you, okay? So always remember, if you don't think about it, get the travel insurance. Talk to a good travel agent. Make sure they're going to give you a good policy, okay, that's going to cover you in case of emergency while you're out there on travel. Now, I have another great thing for you. Sandals Resorts International has made its debut in Caraco. Okay, it opened a 350-room Sandals Royal Caraco. Okay, now the great thing about this resort is this resort features a number of Sandals firsts. Okay, including its first off-site dining program. Okay, and island inclusive. So what does that mean? That means it's available on stays of 7 nights or longer for those Sandals Select Reward members. So if you're a Sandals Select Rewards member, okay, you can benefit from this off-site dining program, okay? And it's also there for guests that are in the Butler Suites as well. Now, one of the things that Sandals always says is their vision for the Sandals World Caraco experience was inspired much more by the island's natural beauty and the colorful culture. So if you've ever been to Caraco, it's a beautiful place to visit, okay? And it's one of the ways that their guests, in a lot of ways, they can re-engage with that destination. And one of the things that we got from the Sandals resort executive, Adam Stewart, you know, he says, they want guests when they come to this resort to be immersed in the culture and the beauty of this resort. Now, one of the things he said was this resort for him was a true labor of love, okay? It was one of the makings that his father and their late founder, Gordon Butch Stewart, at the helm. He says it's a testament to the things that can be done by Sandals as Sandals continues to evolve, as Sandals continues to grow, as Sandals continues to do things that make other places really, really jealous. Now, the great thing about this resort is it's set within a 3,000-acre Santa Barbara estate. And like all Sandals resorts, it faces west. If you ever been to a Sandals resort, one of the things you notice about the Sandals resorts is they all face west. Okay, and what that's designed to do is it's designed to be able to help them capture those stunning sunsets and all those great things that happen as part of those Sandals resorts. Now, in addition to the off-site dining program, the property also offers several other Sandals firsts, including centrally located bi-level doors, the Affinity Pool, which features a lot of panoramic views, okay, and also from the Melanie Walkout Suites, okay, to the Suchi Beachfront Suites, okay, which Suchi Beachfront means kiss, okay. Those experiments, they are primarily new room categories, okay, such as the Curacao Island, the Poolside Butler Bungalows, and the Awa Seaside Butler Bungalows. All those capture the height of the luxury, and they overlook private lagoons, okay, on the Caracan coast. Now, in the culinary front on this, the Sandals Royal Caraco features 11 different dining concepts, including 8 restaurants, of which 7 are new, in addition to the 3 beachside and gourmet food trucks and 13 bars. Now, the new Alois offer the guests the open Mediterranean style dining experience, okay? A lot of this pays tribute to the Vincent van Gogh and the European fusion dishes, and the Toki food trucks, you know, feature a lot of the local type dining fare, okay? Also, there's a new island inclusive dining program which also includes 8 off-site restaurants and transportation. So you're not just limited to the restaurants on the resort, it also has 8 off-site restaurants and transportation. So what does that mean? That means guests, when you go here, you're going to be accommodated in top-level suites, okay? You're also going to be privy to some complimentary convertible Mini Coopers to allow you to explore the item, okay? And to further solidify its ties to the local Caribbean community, Sandals Foundation has partnered with Netherlands AFC Ajax team to unveil what they call their Future Goals. That's a program that transforms fishing nets in the ocean and recycled plastic waste into soccer goals for the kids. So Sandals also has a new soccer program that they're introducing to get kids interested into soccer, to get kids more active in the soccer program. And the great thing about this is this resort is only 15 minutes from Caraco International Airport. So if you want to learn more about this resort, you want to hear a little more about the new resort Sandals has in Caraco, you will not be disappointed should you decide to go there. The luxury, the amenities, and everything that's there are better than first class. So I'm quite sure that the guests that go there, they're going to come back, they're going to tell you they had a wonderful time, they had a great time. They did a lot of great things during the time that they're there. So again, this is Arthur Wright from the Gold Standard. Don't forget to hit our subscribe button. We're going to be coming to you twice a week, every Monday and Thursday, with some great news in the travel industry, some great news in the cruise industry, be able to provide you some great information on deals and news in the travel industry to be able to keep you informed. So come see us, stop by, visit our website at medalliontravels.com. This is Arthur Wright. I am your travelista, and have a great evening on purpose. Live life to the fullest. Good night.